Hey everybody, welcome to the Suburban Stitcher podcast. My name is Diane and today is February 18th, 2017. I think last time I said 2007. I got the 7 right. That's the hard part. I just want to thank y'all so much. I think this is episode 114, which still just blows my mind. This little experiment that I tried is 114 episodes old, so crazy. I am Diane. You can find me as DBB Stitch on Ravelry and Suburban Stitcher on Instagram. I have an Etsy shop where I sell my handmade bags and hand-dyed yarn now, and that is suburbanstitcher.etsy.com. My website is suburbanstitcher.com with links to everything as far as Instagram, YouTube, Etsy shop. You'll find show notes for the podcast there, which I try to do every time. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm better than others. So it's just hit or miss. Anyway, so I want to say thank you for joining me today. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the Rainbow Along. It is my yearly February knit along where you knit anything rainbow themed, rainbow in actual interpretation, rainbow in name, rainbow in whatever. So anything rainbow you can count as long as you finish it within the month of February. It can be a whip, so anything. It can be a baby booty up to a blanket. So anything that's rainbow in color or theme you can choose. Extra points for literally interpreting a rainbow, just because those make me the happiest. I sent out a couple of prizes from Instagram from the hashtag RainbowAlong2017 this week, and I just love doing that so much. I absolutely love sending out prizes. It's super fun. And while we're talking about prizes, since I last recorded, I have so many prizes to show you that have come in. So I got some stitch markers. These will be a giveaway. These are from One Geek to Craft Them All, and it is on this ring, and they are lovely rainbow balls, and then this is a unicorn on one, so that's perfect for like beginning of a round marker. And then you have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other ones right there. So this will be going to a lucky person. So thank you, One Geek to Craft Them All, Marcia. I might have to stand up. All my stuff is so far away. Okay, so let's see. I've gotten a lot of bags, and y'all, there are some amazing ones too. Okay, so I have a bag from Knit Spin Quilt. Is it Elisa? I hope I'm saying your name. She says her website is knitspinquilt.com, and her username, she is knitspinquilt on Instagram and Twitter. And this is a lovely, I don't want to draw it up and wrinkle it, but it's a lovely hand-sewn striped project bag, rainbow stripes with this cute boxed bottom, and it's this gray accent. So I love that. It's super cute. So that's a little drawstring, and it has this ring, so you could attach stitch markers or attach it to your belt, whatever you wanted to do there. So someone will win that lovely prize. I have and this one I won't open because it's so nicely packaged, but this looks like a prize pack from Kitchen Counter Crafter, Jenny, and this is her mocha pot. It says it's a tall and roomy zippered bag, and every little detail on this is so cute. So we've got the rainbow unicorns. The rainbow is zippered, y'all. I mean, the rainbow is zippered. The zipper is rainbow. Can you see that? Super cute. And there's something in here, it looks like stitch markers, but it's behind her card. Yeah, it looks like it's stitch markers in there. So I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna open it up. But there are some stitch markers in that little bag right there, and pin, and all sorts of lovely things. So thank you so much, Jenny. This next bag, oh my gosh, so stinking cute. I think I'm gonna have to order one for myself. This is from, oops. Yes, this is from Allison at the Yarn Parlor. Y'all, is this not the cutest thing ever? Rainbows on clouds with the pot of gold at the bottom. She's blinged out, Swarovski crystalled some of the coins on that side and on that side. And it's a drawstring. It has a stitch marker of a 4-leaf clover. She has her little label, which has a Swarovski crystal on the cherry, because of course. And the lining is horseshoes and leprechauns. I mean, this is like the most amazing bag ever. It's so cute. Oh, and of course, the little ribbon is rainbow. Like, everything is so perfect. And it's got this lovely, sturdy kind of linen canvas bottom. I have been using, I'll show you what's in here in a minute, but I have been using this one that she gifted to me last year, I think as part of the Around Your Neck KAL, I believe. I can't, or maybe it was just a random giveaway. I don't know, but I have been using the heck out of it. I absolutely love it. So I have a feeling that one of these may be in my future because it's so cute. So thank you so much for those bags. Now I have received some yarn prizes. Just trying to put all these in here so I don't lose them, because the prize pot for this giveaway, this knit along, is enormously huge. And so what I want to say now, because it seems like every time I podcast, I get some more emails with prize offerings, which I'm super grateful for. But right now, I am full on giveaways for this. But if you have something that you think that the viewers here would love and you want me to talk about and offer it as a giveaway, you are still more than welcome to contact me and send it my way. I just don't think that I need it for the Rainbow Along, because there are so many prizes. Whoever wins things from this, like, super lucky. For real. Okay, so next up we have, okay, so this is a yarn prize. Sorry, I just want to make sure I'm getting all of this right. This is from Rachel Rachel from Lamb Woman Knits. This is a rainbow tie-dye sock blank that she said I could keep if I wanted. And I really might. So fun. This is going to make like super skinny little stripes that sort of fade in and out of each other. And that looks amazing. Like, so fun to knit. So she sent that along. She sent this bag that she made, which is super fun. Rainbow-tastic. And this is all like hand pieced and sewn together. It has a drawstring and pretty lining. Not a drawstring, it has a handle that's also pieced. Super fun. So there's that's part of a prize. She sent along some minis, rainbow mini skeins. These look like those 20-yard mini skeins, maybe. So they're really not very mini. Yeah, 20 grams each, not 20 yard, 20 grams. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 120 grams of rainbow-tastic yarn. Super fun. And there's some candy and things. I may end up keeping the chocolates. It kind of melted because, you know, Texas heat. But there will be some candy goodies that go along with the winter, other than the chocolate, because it's melted. And I don't want to send along yucky, melty chocolate. So that came along. So thank you so much, Rachel. That was very kind. One winner will win that prize and maybe some other goodies that I throw in there, patterns and whatnot, because there's still all of the other things that I've shown you in the past. And this, I think this is the last thing that came in. This is from, okay, this is from Knit Style Yarn. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, sorry, I'm going to crinkle a little bit here because I want to be able to show you this yarn. Okay, so I have, there's two skeins, one to keep and one to give away, and I don't know that I'll be able to make the decision, so I may put it in a prize pack or just have a winner pick or something. But she sent along two skeins of yarn. This is her Love Shack colorway. It's an 80/20 superwash merino nylon. Super pretty pinks with bright pinks and orange. This is also on her 80/20, her chic sock, 400 yards. And this colorway is called Dance in the Rain. So it's kind of a gray, light gray with all of these rainbow speckles. Super duper fun. Oops. So, thank you so much, Sharon. And she says that she missed me at Rhinebeck, and that's a bummer. I did not, haven't been to Rhinebeck for 2 years now, which is so hard to believe. I'm not going to be able to go this year either. I'm not going this year because I just have so many other retreats and events on the calendar for 2017 that are new places and fun places to go that I just cannot squeeze in Rhinebeck, which is sad, but I'm also not sad because of the other places that I get to go. So that is that. That is the Rainbow Along. There is a thread in the Ravelry group for chatter. You can go over there and encourage each other, and then there's also a thread in the Ravelry group for finished objects, and you can encourage each other over there by finishing your finished objects, and that one is non-chatter. So pictures of encouragement. I'm using this mug today that I found at like Marshall's or TJ Maxx or something. I just love it. It's really, really like sturdy mug, and it's really fun. And I'm drinking some Tivana tea, and the flavor is called Winterberry. I got it last weekend, and OMG, is it good. And it's super, it's not Whole30 approved. It has a little bit of sugar, I think, just because it has some dried fruit, and so there's like some sugar in the fruit, but I think mostly it's pretty good. So, must have been coffee grounds on the bottom of this cup because now it's on my table. Nice. So, Rainbow Along. You have until the end of February, February 28th. So that is 10 days from today. I think the 28th is on a Tuesday, I believe. So here's the deal. I am leaving early or morning, Wednesday morning, the March 1st, Wednesday morning, to go to a retreat that is hosted by Hill Country Weavers in Austin, and I am super, super excited to be attending that again this year. It was an amazing retreat last year. I got to interview some wonderful knitting celebrity rock stars, and I am also going to be able to interview them again this year. Not different people, so there's different teachers this year, and I'm so excited. This year, I am going to get to interview Bristol Ivy and Carson Deemers and Susan B. Anderson. So I could not be more excited. I could not be more honored that Cindy and Suzanne and the whole crew at Hill Country Weavers think that they want to have me there to interview these lovely people. So I'm just so excited, and all of that to say that because the 28th is a Tuesday and then the next day I'm leaving on a retreat for about 5 days, I will not be closing it right away. I may at some point during the weekend close that thread, but you will have a couple of extra days, undetermined amount of days, to finish up your project, post the picture. If you don't have time to block it, I totally understand. Just, spread it out, take a picture, show me that it's finished. But it's just put it in there, count up. Yards really don't matter. So just take a picture of the finished object and you're good. Okay, wow, 15 to 16 minutes of talking and showing off lovely things, but no knitting. So let's talk knitting, right? Okay, so finished objects this week. I have one finished object, and I would be lying if I said that I had not waited to podcast until I had a finished object, because I didn't have one last time, and I really, really needed one. It's been a little while. Now, granted, 2 times ago it was my Find Your Fade, so that was a huge one. But I really just wanted to have something to show you finished this time. So I finished my February Desert Vista Dye Work socks in the Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Somewhere over the rainbow. Which is what I sing in my head every time I think about these socks. But they are done. They are almost exactly matched. Really stinking close. And the reason I say almost is because on the bind off, I have about 8 stitches worth of that. But it was not worth going back around and undoing a whole repeat of, undoing the whole bind off and then undoing a whole round of the sock to just worry about literally what is 8 stitches. So I just left it. No one's going to see them in my pant leg anyway. But yeah, everything else is pretty stinking spot on. I'm pretty pumped about that. So this was my normal recipe for my stripy socks. Toe up with a Turkish cast on. I cast on for 16 stitches on each needle. And then I increase every other round up to 32 stitches on each needle. So it's a 64 stitch sock. And then I knit what I call a sock tube, which is just a plain, I just knit all the way up to here. This was quite a large pattern repeat, so I think I did 1, 2, 3, 4.5 pattern repeats. I think that got me to about 140 something stitches from the toe up to the cuff. I try to have like a minimum of about 135 rounds. And so this was like 140-ish, maybe a little more. So it was pretty close. And then I just did the rest of the repeat of the ribbing. So it's a little shorter than in my normal ribbing, but I'm good with it. And then this is a 2x2 ribbing, and then I do a Jenny's Surprisingly Stretchy Bind Off. And then I get so many questions about my heels all the time on Instagram, on here. I do an afterthought heel, a true cut it in afterthought heel. I do not use waste yarn to knit it in because then I still end up with holes on the sides. I use a video tutorial that my good friend Cherie, Kirby Werby Yarns, put on YouTube. And it is the way that I learned to knit afterthought heels. It is a great method. I can't remember if she talks about this in her video, but one thing that I do is when I cut it in and I have my needles ready to go and I'm about to start knitting. I haven't knit anything on the heel yet. All I've done is cut the yarn and I'm ready to knit, I knit about 4 straight rounds. And like I said, I can't remember if she talks about that on her video or not. I'll have to go back and rewatch it one of these days, but I do about 4 to 5, depending on how stretchy and kind of what kind of yarn I'm using. 4 to 5 rounds of straight knitting before I start the decrease rounds for the toe. And decreasing for a toe. Decreasing for the heel, which I was going to say, is basically like decreasing for a toe if you're knitting cuff down. So that's my basic sock recipe for vanilla toe up stripy socks, where I know I'm going to do an afterthought heel. And then I always just pick something that's going to stay in pattern. You know, from the underside, this stays in pattern this way, and then it just sort of meets and repeats mirrored right there, which is fine with me. As long as it matches, then I'm good. So that is my finished object this week. And I'm going to take one of these off the blockers to use it for my works in progress. So this week I have, let's see, I will show you, let's go in order of this, of my show notes so I don't have to think later. This is in my cute little yarn parlor bag, which I just talked about a minute ago. I absolutely love it. So I am working on a pair of socks that I started on Valentine's Day because I am totally a seasonal knitter. Have to knit seasonally. There's something about it. When I was a cross stitcher, I was a seasonal cross stitcher. When I really quilted more, I was totally into, you know, making seasonal things, and I really enjoy that because it's just part of that time of year for me. So anyway, this is some yarn that I got 2 years ago, I guess, was a kit that I did with Stacy of Mustache Yarn and Vanessa of Vintage Rose. And I had not knit with the yarn, and so I decided this was its year. This is the year I'm going to knit with it. So the yarn is called Je T'aime, and if you know Stacy's yarn, she is, first and foremost, she's an epically talented self-striping dyer, and she kind of is known for these interesting sized and repeats of colors. I love that it's not predictable stripes, and those are great, totally great. I love those. But I love that Stacy mixes it up with stripe width and, you know, pattern sequences that you wouldn't think, and this is certainly no exception to that. So what I've done here is same for my stripy toe up recipe, I Turkish cast on 16 stitches on each needle, increased up to 32 for a total stitch count of 64, and then I knit about, you know, for me it's about 84 rounds, and I always try it on once I get to 80, just depending on my gauge and how many, you know, what kind of yarn. Sometimes that varies more or less. This time it was 84 rounds, and you can see I have my little marker there where I started. My this is the beginning of my toe or my beginning of my leg up to my where I put in the heel, the round that I put in the heel, and then I'll count rounds up here so that I can try to get them matching. But this yarn is Mustache Yarn in the Je T'aime colorway. It was part of a kit that we did 2 years ago. I think that she brings this to shows. So if you are going to, she might have it at DFW, she might have it at Stitches West. She's going to be at Stitches West. So all you West Coasters, if you have not gotten to hug Stacy, I'm so jealous. I want to see her. I will see her at DFW, but I know that you are going to love her. She is just one of my sweet, sweet knitting friends. Anyway, so I have put in a Fish Lips Kiss accent color for the heel. This was a color that I had in stash, and it's pretty darn close, right? Like I'm pretty excited about how much it looks like it belongs in this sock anyway. But this was a skein that I was sent last year from Colorful Eclectic, and it's got pink in the name. I can't remember exactly what it is, but I started knitting a pair of socks with these that just didn't fit me, and so I ripped it out, and now I have it, and it's going to be going in these socks. It's a perfect match. So I'm just knitting up the leg on this one, really just zooming away now, especially now that I'm past the heel. The rest of it is just going to be knit as long as I feel like the leg wants to be, and then it'll be basically done for the first sock. So that is one work in progress. The next thing that I have been working on is I've put in a few stitches. I feel like I should really be knitting with my own yarn way more than I do. But I have been working on in a freckled whimsy bag that I love. This is one of my favorites, and it has the rainbow lining, so I just had to use it for my rainbow along socks. And this is my hand-dyed yarn in the Rainbow Along 2017 colorway, and I am almost done with the first sock. I just finished the last batch of pre-orders for this yarn over, I guess, yesterday, and I will not be taking any more orders for this this year, so it'll come back next year. Maybe along with the new colorway, we'll see, whatever it is for next year. So this is Rainbow Along 2017, and as you can see, I'm getting probably about 20 rounds or so away from doing a toe. So that's coming along. This is also a Fish Lips Kiss heel. Got my Sucre Miniatures stitch marker, as I always do on all my socks. So I'm just loving how this is turning out. Got a little closer so you can see the colors. And it's sparkly, pretty fun. So that is the second work in progress. I have been working on a shawl that I'm dreadfully behind on. The Snow Melt Mystery Knit Along. And this is in a bag that my mom made for me, an Alice in Wonderland bag that I love. So I'm so sorry. I know I'm going to get a million questions about this one. I do not have this fabric. I don't know where she got it. I think she maybe ordered it on Etsy, maybe. But I love it, but I don't have it, so I can't make you any. I'm very sorry. But I just love it because my mommy made it for me. So I am doing the Snow Melt Mystery Knit Along. If you don't want to see, I have finished Clue 1, and I am maybe almost halfway done with Clue 2. Clue 3 came out 2 or 3 days ago, so I'm definitely behind. But I have been working up a storm, so I'm pretty impressed that I've gotten, that I've stayed up this much with it. So here is where I am. This is the first clue right here. You can see that's color A. Color B is this sort of a little bit darker gray. Color C makes a significant color jump. It's this multicolored kind of gray with lots of rainbow colors, which I figured was perfect to start in February. And then the clue 2 starts with this lace section. I'll see if I can spread it out a little bit so you can see. Just kind of waves in these little diamond shell patterns. It is going to be perfectly semicircle, so half pie shawl shaped. I was knitting this on Addy lace, which are the gold ones that are really super pointy but have a little bit of drag. And those are fine needles. They're not my favorite. And I wanted to try a pair of the Knitter's Pride Royale needles, which have the wood tip, which is super great for lace and things like that, but it has the it has a metal tip, but the wood shaft of the needle, and these spin at the join, which is super nice. So they just spin around and your cable doesn't kink up at all. So great. And I could not be more excited about these needles, honestly. Like they're really great. I'm loving knitting with them. So the yarns that I'm using, so the first two colors, this light gray and then this sort of medium gray, are my hand-dyed yarns. This is my Silky single ply base, and it's a fingering weight yarn. This color is called Whisper, and I actually still have a skein of it available in the shop. So there it is in the skein. Just very, very whisper of a gray is what I think it is. The second color is called Liquid Silver. I don't think I have any of that available. And then this third color is not my yarn, but it is the same base. It's from Marigold Jen, and I believe it's called Street Graffiti. Yes, Street Graffiti, and that's from Marigold Jen. So it's two of my yarns and one of hers. I just love how it's turning out so far. Clue 3 adds in a lot more of this color, so I'm really excited to get to that. But I think it's very interesting how it's working up so far. I think it's going to be something that I'll wear a lot. I'll bring it to shows so that people can see how this knits up and how my colors kind of play together here. But when I have the time to knit on it, I really love it. I love lace. I love beads. I love having to use my brain and think a little bit more sometimes with my knitting. So that is really the perfect project for that. And then the last thing that I put a little bit of work on, not a ton, but I prepped some yarn for this because it's February, it's Rainbow Along, and excuse me, I really, really want to work on this month, or at least start it. I don't know that I'll finish this whole thing that I'm showing you, but we'll see. So back last year at Zombie Knitpocalypse, we received a mini skein set from 6 or 7 of the different dyers that were at the marketplace there, and all totaled it was 150 grams of rainbow minis. And I magic knotted these bad boys up, caked them all up together, and I am knitting this into my crochet scrap blanket. And I think that having this rainbow knit up in the middle of my blanket, where I know exactly where those skeins came from, it's my memory of that amazing, you can see I just barely started the pink. Right there, I started that last night. So I think the idea of, right after here, that there will be this little, probably about that thick, I would say at least, this sort of rainbow band in the middle of this blanket. I'll know where I got the skeins. I'll remember when I knit it, that it was part of my Rainbow Along knit along that I've hosted now for 4 years. I just think that's such a cool memory. So I'm really excited about having that smack dab in the middle of this blanket, which I just love. Absolutely love this blanket. It's funny how you can tell as I work on projects or as I, my moods. I think this was last summer, so I was putting in these bright neons because it was summer, and then in the fall in December I was working on my other blanket, which is my pastel colors, and I was using a lot of the leftovers here, so it's a lot of these pastel pinks and purples and, grays and snow colors, and it's just fun to see, sort of very, for me, like I said, I knit seasonally, and I knit, I'm sort of predictable that way, I guess. But yeah, I think this is just super fun, and I'm really looking forward to having that big rainbow stripe in the middle of this blanket. I think that's going to be super duper duper fun. Oops. Also, the fact that it's 150 grams that are ready to go before I even have to think about scanning up anything else and adding in or knotting or whatever is really exciting. So, and I think I've shown this before, but I just keep this in a Liberty of London tote bag that I have, just like my blanket, and all of the minis that are sort of destined to be in it live in here. So that is all of my works in progress for this week. I have a few things to talk about in Hello Lovelies. And I'm actually going to look up something very, very quickly because I want to get all of the information correctly. And you know, you have to do that. You have to get information correct. So, the first thing that I got, I'm trying to get all these rainbow long prizes not lost. I got some more Sucre miniature stitch markers. I got a cute little, these came in on Valentine's Day, which I just love. I got a Valentine's cupcake. So it is pink with the little conversation heart, XO. I got two ghosts. One I didn't show you. It's on my Valentine socks. This is the pink ghost holding the little conversation heart. You see that? And the other one that I got is a white ghost that is holding a box of chocolates. Super fun. And the last thing that I got from her is not a marker. It is an enamel pin. And I don't know if she has any more of these, but oh my gosh, right? It's a ghost holding a sprinkle donut. Super, super cute. So I got those in. I ordered some new needles because I literally want to cast on about 7 pairs of socks right now. It's not very healthy. Actually, it's totally healthy because I'm going to knit what I want. But I ordered 3 more pairs of my Knit Pro Zings size 2.25 millimeter, and these are 32-inch cords. And I ordered them from Craft, I believe, on Etsy. So they came from the UK, super inexpensive. I think it was like $16 or $17 total, including shipping over here to the United States. Like crazy cheap. So very, very reasonable. And then I was sent a skein of yarn that I'm going to be knitting from, and this is sent to me on behalf of Fairmount Fibers. And they are the distributor in North America for sure, or maybe just the US. Let's see. North American distributor for Monostil Uruguay. And so, you know, Monostil Uruguay has the Maxima, they have Allegria, they have so many different amazing bases of yarns. And this is a new one, I believe. It is a merino linen blend, 65% merino, 35% linen, 380 yards, and it's classified as a DK weight. So it must plump up a lot more. I was thinking maybe a sport weight. Let me get back to the camera. I was thinking that it was going to be more of a sport weight, but it's a single ply yarn. Very lofty. It's actually quite soft, which means it's going to be even more soft once that linen is washed and like in a project and is just living in that project. It's going to be amazing. Oh, and I didn't say what this is called. This is their Milo base. I have queued a shawl, a cowl up. It's called the Mendia Cowl by Amba O'Brien, which, as a total aside, I could knit about 7 Amba O'Brien shawls right now. Like just right now, I have the yarn for them in my house. I already know what I want to knit. Like I could knit them, cast them on right now. I'm obsessed with so many of them. It's crazy. Total aside, the Mendia cowl. It's a really pretty kind of knit through the back loop. It looks like a twisted rib. And then it has some really interesting sort of mosaic, chevron-y looking motifs kind of in the middle. But this just seemed like that would be a really interesting way to use this yarn. The merino would help the stability of it, but then the linen would help cool it down, and it would also help it be more breathable and a little more wear a few more seasons, maybe a little bit longer here in Texas. So when this yarn came out for review, I was super excited about it. Like I said, I'm pleasantly surprised with how it feels right now because, it's not crunchy like some linens feel. The high merino content in this certainly is helping that. But this is a gorgeous, I think this is the natural colorway. So it's undyed, but it is just sort of this lovely oatmeal-y color, really. And I cannot wait to try it out. It's super, super duper soft. It's soft anyway, not even considering that there's linen in it. So that is a review for some yarn that I'm going to be casting on probably in March. And I'm pretty excited about that. Trying to think, looking around me to see if there's anything else worth talking about. I think that might be it. As shop update news, I don't have a specific date for the next update. I am frantically trying to dye as many skeins of the Deep South Charm collection as possible, which I just have to say, y'all completely blew me away with that. It's so fun to create yarn, and as with bags, sometimes you just never know. Like I liked it and I thought it was pretty fun, but you just never know if anyone else is going to like it. And the response to that collection and those colors was absolutely amazing. Thank y'all so much. I have plans to have many more mini skein sets, many more skeins of that yarn. I'm hoping to have a kind of a mini update with some before I go on the retreat in about 10 days. So like I said, be on the lookout for that update. I will post about it on Instagram and update my little thing on my online shop. But yeah, thank y'all so much. It will probably be a pretty yarn-centric update schedule. Very few bags going up in the shop over the next little while. The reason for that is because the DFW retreat, I'm only bringing bags. I am in the Mustache Yarn booth as per usual for me for the last several years, but I am not bringing yarn because I am selling Stacy's yarn with her. So she sells the yarn in that booth, and I will have bags, I will have whip binders, I'll have several different sizes of bags, maybe 1 or 2 new designs if I can get them eked out. I'll have notions bags. I'm hoping to have some stitch markers, some stitch marker sets. So anyway, I'm really, really excited about what I have to bring there. But I just want to say again, no yarn at DFW. And I'm so sorry. There's already been so many of you that asked me, but I will just have bags at DFW because I am not in my own booth. I am in the Mustache Yarn booth, which means you need to save your pennies to go buy all of Stacy's pretty self-striping yarn. And my bags, of course. I I think that's it. I will just be keeping you posted on whenever the updates will be. So I think we'll just leave it at that. Thank y'all so much, as always, for just a lovely time, spending the time talking with you, and thank you for participating in my knit-alongs. Don't forget about the Rainbow Along. You've got about 10 more days to finish up your projects. So in the meantime, I hope that you spend lots of time creating lovely things and doing what you love. Bye, guys.